da.
Chief Mate Juza's breaking in the newcomers, but I think we can spare you the tedium of that. After this, the new crew members will be arranged into 2 teams for more specialized training, according to their own aptitudes and the needs of the fleet. One team will learn comprehensive survival skills, including maritime emergency rescue, marine meteorology, psychological counseling, and so on. They will serve as the support team for the fleet, ensuring safe navigation. That's why we call them the Shield of the Crux.
Wenn die einen Schild der Krux heißen, sollen die anderen wohl Pinsel der Krux heißen? Und die anderen wohl Augen der Krux heißen? Speer.
That's right. You catch on quick.
Oh, also ich hab's halt echt drauf.
As one might expect, we call the other team the Spear of the Crux, because they'll be learning about naval warfare. They'll make up the armed portion of our crew. Also, they're responsible for handling the fleet's cargo deals. So, what do you think?
Schilde der Krux.
As I expected, you have a will to protect others. There are 2 main subjects that the Shield of the Crux focuses on: survival knowledge and entertainment. As I was saying earlier, survival knowledge includes prevention of injuries and diseases at sea, navigation and cartography, basic meteorology, etc.
Gut, dass man im Hintergrund überhaupt nicht sieht, wie schnell die Sonne auf und unter geht, ne? Ich meine, du kannst zuschauen, wie es weggeht.
You can go learn about these skills from Yinxing, Huixing, and Liushi. They're all seasoned hands in their respective fields.
Gibt es Leute, die das besser können als du?
Each sailor has their own strengths and weaknesses. I'm no rookie, of course, but you shouldn't underestimate the knowledge of the crew. If there's anything I'm most proud of in the fleet, it's my people. Go and get to work. I'll have some questions to test you later. I look forward to seeing how you do.
Cool. Oh, hinter mir. Hier vor sie lerne 1 und 2 Dinge von Yinxing. Ach, was weiß ich, wie die wieder ausgesprochen wird.
Hello, traveler. I'm Yinxing, the
Yinxing.
Crux's surgeon at sea. Whenever a sailor has a health problem, they come to me. I deal with it all, from seasickness and common colds to amputations and everything in between.
Ich würde gerne etwas über Verletzungen auf See erfahren.
Oh, I presume the captain arranged this, correct? All right then, let's begin. First of all, let me ask you this. What do you think is the biggest danger that all new crew members face?
Seekrankheit.
That can certainly be a problem at sea, but it's not the biggest danger. The most dangerous thing for a newcomer is to underestimate the dangers of life at sea. Oh, I have seen many new crew members who see themselves as young and fighting fit and have no regard for safety. They think that since they are tough enough to look after themselves on land, they'll be fine at sea as well. Those are the ones that always end up in the sick bay. Everyone should know that being a sailor, especially on a long voyage, is a brutal job in an unforgiving environment. We have to face malnutrition when we're short on supplies. All kinds of injuries and diseases that the harsh ocean weather can bring. And even the psychological problems that can arise due to isolation and the lack of entertainment. To make things worse, the lack of medication and treatment options at sea can result in even minor health problems becoming serious, or even fatal.
Dass sie keinen Überfluss an Medikamenten hat. Okay, also mit der Amputation.
Oh, you probably thought I was joking, right? Well, that's not surprising. Most newcomers think the same way.
Naja, das Ding ist halt, du redest hier gerade mit dem Reisenden. Wenn er drauf geht mit seinen ganzen Leuten, wacht er halt einfach am nächsten Schrein wieder auf. Nix mit Tod und Amputieren.
But hopefully you now realize that with a little extra precaution, a lot of these things can be avoided. Well, I think that's enough for you to think over for now. Is there anything else you would like to know?
Was passiert mit den Leuten, denen amputiert wurde?
Oh. Are you concerned about them? No wonder Captain Beto thinks you're different. There must be more to you than just your strength. If you can convince Mora Grubber to show you the books, you'll see there is a regular fixed cost titled Convalescence Payments and Incapacity Support for Injured Crew Members. Regardless of the fleet's income, those who have fought alongside us will certainly receive their compensation every year. Some of those that have returned to land have started small businesses, while others have chosen to go out traveling the world. The money is intended to allow them to live their lives as freely as possible. I'm sure being based on land helps a lot with that too. Still, we can't pretend like it solves everything. They call them life-changing injuries for a reason, you know. But if nothing else, it's good to know that while Captain Beidou is in charge of the Crux, no one will get forgotten. Is there anything else you would like to know?
Wie sieht Beidou das Ganze?
Captain Beidou? Well, out of everyone I've met, she probably values people's lives and safety the most. Although I'm just a doctor, Beidou has given me the full authority to send any newcomers who I don't see as fit for service off the ship, until they are ready to come back with the right attitude. Every time we're stocking up before a voyage, medicine takes top priority. I'm even allowed to choose the suppliers, regardless of the price. We have adequate budget for medical expenses. Do you know what Morgrubber, our bookkeeper, calls this? A significant financial risk. But Beidou knows the importance of having a healthy crew. That's why she has authorized me regardless. She places her full trust in me and believes that I can solve these problems. Of course, I have proven her right. So, to answer your question, that's how she thinks. Is there anything else you would like to know?
Vielen Dank.
My pleasure. Okay, let's leave it there then. Be sure to take good care of your health.
Nee, nee, nee. Ist da einer im Wasser? Das Schiff ist auf der Karte so klein markiert, dass es ausschaut, wie wenn es im Wasser stehen würde. Yuxing.
Sorry about earlier, Traveler. We were so caught up on getting you to join the fleet that we didn't notice we were going a little overboard. Good thing the captain stepped in.
Kein Problem, ich möchte etwas über Meereskarten lernen.
Oh! Well, in that case, you have come to the right person. I'm not just blowing smoke. You're looking at the most talented navigator in Liyue Harbor. I'll start by introducing some chart reading essentials for new sailors. Feel free to interrupt if you have any questions. Let's start with what to look for when you get a set of complicated charts. First, you should always look at any indicated shorelines, islands or reefs, water depths, hydrological conditions, and other hazards. With these features in mind, you can answer the basic question of, can I chart a safe course through this area? Visually, nautical charts are a little unique. Unlike land maps, most charts do not have a fixed scale, which means that it can be hard to precisely determine the exact distance between 2 points. The most advanced nautical charts come with a supplementary chart, which has different colored lines marked on it to indicate distances. It's worth mentioning that under my direction, the Crux is using these advanced kinds of charts. Some cartographers mark out other points of interest on their charts, usually with their own special symbols. If they don't leave any accompanying notes, they can be very difficult to interpret.
Wie die Karte, die der letzte Navigator hinterlassen hat.
Not only those, we have tattered and torn charts that we've picked up from all over the place. To be honest, it can be quite a challenge, even for me. Some of these charts are really old and have symbols that I've never seen before. But if we don't decipher them, we will certainly miss many secrets of the sea. Fortunately, we have the captain with us. She managed to find some ancient books on semiotics that I can use to study the charts further. I don't think anyone other than our captain could manage to get these kinds of resources. Old charts and ancient books on semiotics are not the kinds of things that are sold in your average marketplace. Oops, I've gotten off topic. Well, that just about covers the basics of chart reading. Is there anything else you would like to know, Traveler?
Hast du mit der Erfahrung mit dem Zeichnen solcher Karten?
Drafting charts? That's certainly a more advanced topic. To be honest, I've only attained a smattering of knowledge in that area. The charts we are using now are just revised versions of the ones left by the previous navigator. So my mapping experiences have been primarily limited to updating our charts to reflect changes in the sea. I think you can ask Captain Beto more about cartography. One time, the fleet sailed into an uncharted area by mistake. It wasn't long before we turned the fleet around and returned the way we came out for fear of potential hazards. But Captain Beto still managed to draft a simple chart of the area we sailed through for if and when we explore the area again. Incredible, isn't it? I was amazed to see that the captain could even do cartography.
Warum solltest du dann überhaupt der Navigator sein?
Because I have the talent, and she doesn't want to let it go to waste. She treats the whole crew that way. I initially had the same question myself. After all, in many fleets, the captain also works as a navigator. I couldn't understand her reasoning at the time, so I asked her. She just laughed and told me to wise up, saying that even Rex Lapis never fights alone. She wants everyone on board to master their role, so that the crux is not floating on her alone. That way, if the day ever comes when she's no longer with the fleet, we will still be able to sail onward without her. Captain Beto may seem aloof and even act careless sometimes, but the truth is that she's very considerate of everyone on board. Is there anything else you would like to know, Traveler?
Ich habe keine Fragen mehr, danke.
My pleasure. A friend of Captain Beto is a friend of mine.
Mit dir wäre ich gern befreundet, du bist eigentlich echt nett. Und auch mal einer von den Charakteren, die wohl nicht nach dem Müll ausschauen. Ich rede jetzt zum Beispiel vor... Die zwei, die schauen halt völlig standardmäßig aus. Genauso wie der Typ, Alter, den gibt's wahrscheinlich 500 Mal irgendwo. Ich meine, sie ist da halt schon gleich nochmal. Ich meine, schau, da ist dieselbe gleich nochmal. Und wollen wir wetten, der Typ rennt hier auch nochmal irgendwo rum?
I wonder what's going on up there.
Da, und das ist dieselbe nur mit Augenklappe. Da schau mal, die alte ist hier nochmal. Und da ist nochmal dieselbe. Suling Schmied. Warte, wo soll ich eigentlich hin? Da lang. Uh. Ganz oben? Das kann sein. Oder Furong. Lerne ein oder zwei Dinge von Shuliushui. Egal, wir gehen jetzt nach oben. Auf, 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 auf. Da oben ist eine goldene Kiste. Alter, ich habe so viele Kisten nicht geholt bisher, ne? Nee, nee, nee. Kurz warten. Sie ist tatsächlich da oben. Weil, warte, es ist ein Typ. Oh nein, er sieht aus wie jeder andere, nur mit einem Bandana.
Hello, traveler. Are you here to learn about marine meteorology?
Woher weißt du das?
In my line of work, I've got to have a pair of sharp eyes. I saw the captain showing you around the training grounds, and then you went to see Yingxing and Huixing.
Ja, aber solltest du dann eher auf das andere schauen, anstatt auf mich?
So I figured that she probably wants you to get to know the life of a crew member.
Nicht schlecht.
Okay, let's get started. First, I'll introduce you to the basics of meteorology. Marine meteorology basically means keeping tabs on the weather as well as other ocean phenomena, So things like sea fog, storm surges, water spouts, and so on. These are all potential threats to safe navigation. Luckily, whatever weather might be coming up, there's always some kind of sign that gives it away in advance. Take water spouts, for example. They're caused by high-speed rotating winds on the surface of the ocean. They can engulf large ships and do immense damage. But if you know that water spouts can only form in an environment with high temperature, high humidity, and large clouds, then you can be well prepared. You will be even more alert if you also know that the presence of winds blowing in opposite directions, with a significant difference in speed, is a direct precursor to the formation of waterspouts. And most importantly, if you spot a small white vortex emerging from the clouds, you should immediately notify the crew to steer clear of what's ahead. So there you go. Those are the warning signs of waterspouts. I am proud to say that over the years, I haven't let a single one sneak up on my watch.
Du hast viel Erfahrung.
I've got to confess, I learned almost everything I know from the captain. All the stuff about meteorology that I just told you about, she's the real expert. Do you know the small fishing village next to Wangshu Inn? I heard that when Captain Beto was a kid, she worked there fishing.
Oh, ich würde gern Kid Beto sehen.
Later, she made her way to the harbor where she struggled to make a living. Growing up in an environment like that, it's no wonder she knows everything about the sea. When I first came on board, I lived every day wallowing in doubt, wondering if my former career as a sailor was all just a waste. But as I gradually learned some new things and became more experienced, I finally realized what makes the Crux so great. After all, not every fleet has the uncrowned Lord of the Ocean as their leader. I feel lucky just to have joined.
Vielen Dank, ich denke, ich habe genug
Find
gelernt.
me anytime if you want to know more.
Ja, ich hoffe, ich muss dich nicht wieder was fragen, weil ich sonst hier rauf muss. Wir klauen uns jetzt erstmal die Truhe. Oh, die Truhe da oben wird keiner bemerken. Scheiße, der Traveler.
Jackpot.
Sehr gut. Chackepotte. Hey, warte, hier kriege ich 6 Geo-Siegel. Ryu ist doch bloß ein großer Beschiss. Inazuma ist doch bloß ein großer Beschiss, ey. Mal schauen, was ich jetzt beantworten kann bei ihr.
So you've already finished talking to the crew, huh? I thought it would take you a while longer. So, what did you think?
Etwas schwer, aber machbar.
Now you know that the Shield of the Crux is not such an easy job. First of all, life on the sea isn't always plain sailing. Injuries and illnesses happen all the time. But what is the single biggest danger facing crew members?
Die Gefahr zu unterschätzen.
Is that your final answer? All right, on to the second question. As you've just learned, the fleet plots its route using nautical charts. The charts used by the Crux have additional charts attached. The supplementary chart has lots of lines in various colors for added reference. What is the purpose of these lines?
Boah, shit. Die Farben und Schichten spiegeln die Ästhetik und zeichnen das wieder und setzt die Mannschaft der Kunst aus. Distanzmessung. Distanzmessung für verschiedene Meeresströmungen. Spezielle Orte und das ist Schwachsinn. Distanzmessung verschiedene Meeresströmungen ist die Frage. Fuck. Ich hätte ein bisschen besser aufpassen sollen, oder? Shit. Ich will aber nicht googeln, ich will das selber machen. Los. Distanzmessung.
Okay, interesting, interesting.
Die macht mich fertig, ne?
Last question.
Die ist wie in so einem verdammten, wenn irgendwo eine Show ist oder sonst irgendwas, wo irgendwer dann zum ersten Platz gekürt wird. Weiß der oder weiß der? Wir wissen es nicht, aber die Zuschauer wissen es und keine Ahnung was und die haben gewählt. Aber alles nach der Werbung. Und dann nach der Werbung, oh, wir müssen noch schauen, was wir dann noch machen müssen. Oh, noch ein letzter
On
Werbespot.
longer voyages, we have to be especially careful to avoid certain... So, my question is, how can we reliably predict waterspouts so we can avoid them?
Dunkle Wolken und Windböen aus der entgegengesetzten Richtung mit einem Wirbel, weißen Wirbel, in dem die Wolken über dem Meer. Windböen in der entgegengesetzten Richtung? Ringe, nee. Wenn Liushi sagt, dass sie kommt, dann kommt sie. Die See sagt, dass die Wasserhose kommt, dann kommt sie. Der ist da, weißer Wirbel.
Okay, those are all my questions. Do you want to know how you did? I gotta say, each time I think I've wrapped my head around how great you are, you surprise me with something new. You got them all
Yes!
correct. They weren't the most difficult questions, but they weren't ones you could bluff your way through either. You've clearly been paying attention to my crew.
Ey, wie ich halt meine Punkte da oben voll bekommen habe.
Okay then. Now it's time to apply that endless talent of yours to learning some new recreational activities.
Warum Freizeitbeschäftigung?
You need to realize that being out at sea might be fun for the first few days while everything's new, but before too long, looking at the same old sea every day and being so isolated from everything can really cause people to struggle mentally. That is why regular recreational activities are an absolute necessity.
Eigentlich will ich über sowas nicht reden, aber genau das ist halt bei manchen das Problem in der Corona-Zeit. Wenn sie alleine sind oder sonstige Sachen, ist natürlich auch außerhalb von Corona, wenn welche isoliert sind oder keine Freunde haben oder sonst irgendwas. Bei sowas bin ich immer froh, bis jetzt, dass ich bei sowas noch keine Probleme habe, weil ich eher einer bin, der ganz seinen Scheiß alleine macht und hofft, dass ihm keiner auf den Sack geht. Ich war ja im Prinzip schon in Quarantäne, bevor Corona angefangen hat. Weil ich gerne auch mein Zeug alleine mache. Oder ich zock hier und mach das alles und ich bin froh drüber. Ich bin happy. Ich meine, klar, ich habe meine Kontakte und sonst irgendwas, Freunde und sonst irgendwie. Also ist nicht vergleichbar mit jemandem, der wirklich komplett alleine ist. Weil sowas kann schon hart sein. Weil ich könnte zum Beispiel persönlich halt auch nicht nachvollziehen, das was dann halt mit den Kindern ist, Schule und sowas. Die wo dann halt echt psychisch strugglen, weil sie nicht in die Schule können und ihre soziale Befriedigung ist ein bescheuertes Wort dafür, aber ihre sozialen Kontakte, genau, ihre sozialen Kontakte pflegen können. Könnte ich nicht nachvollziehen, weil ich halt der genau das Gegenteil bin. Wobei ganz alleine wäre für mich wahrscheinlich auch irgendwann scheiße. Frag mich nicht, warum ich jetzt damit anfange, aber ich glaube, ich habe heute wieder irgendwo ein Thema mit irgendwas über das Thema Depression und so Zeug gelesen, mit irgendeinem Star, der wohl jetzt verstorben ist und alles. Unterhaltung,
We
klar.
offer a lot of fun courses for our newcomer training, including fishing, photography, chess.
Käfer- und Vogelkämpfe.
Oh, and thanks to Kazuha, these days we also offer poetry and music appreciation, as well as communal wind listening. Each newcomer has to participate in at least one, so that they've got some way of keeping themselves occupied at sea further down the line. Of course, if you'd prefer wrestling sea monsters with your bare hands, that can be arranged.
Ich wurde überzeugt.
Well, for today at least, let's stick to the training schedule drawn up by Juza. If I remember correctly, it should be photography today. Come on, I'll show you.
Ey, das finde ich cool. Das war halt immer das Problem. Ich meine, wenn es da nichts hast, drehst du halt am Rad. Aber Fotografiekurs ist krass, also. Normal geht's ja um Kartenspiel und
Everyone
Saufen.
can go back and call it a day. The photography session has been postponed.
What's going on here, Juza?
Oh, Captain, there you are. Well, Captain, the photography teacher just sent word saying that she's fallen ill and doesn't want to risk coming in case she keels over in class.
I see. That's quite unfortunate.
Das macht nichts. Ich kenne ja bereits einige Techniken der Fotografie.
Oh? Quite the multi-talented one, aren't you? In that case, why don't you help us out and lead the class today?
Yeah, unfortunately, the original teacher canceled at short notice, so there's no time to schedule anything else instead. It would be great if the Traveler could step in as the teacher for the day.
It's up to you, Traveler.
Da können wir nicht Nein sagen.
Great! It's settled then. Juza, let's muster everyone over here to meet the new teacher.
Yes, Captain.
User versammelt die aufgeregte Besatzung, um ihren neuen Lehrer vorzustellen.